And here is the Writer's Almanac for Saturday. It's the 30th of January, 2021. It's the birthday of the historian Barbara Tuchman, born New York City, 1912, won the Pulitzer Prize for The Guns of August, about the first months of World War I. Barbara Tuchman, who said, "I want the reader to turn the page and keep on turning to the end. This is accomplished only when the narrative moves steadily ahead, not when it comes to a weary standstill, overloaded with every item uncovered in the research." It's the birthday of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, born 1882 in Hyde Park, New York. His wealthy father made his money in railroads and in coal. The young Franklin Roosevelt was very much attached to his mother, Sarah, so much so that later in life when he married Eleanor Roosevelt, his mother lived next door to them, though his wife did not care for that. When he was 5 years old, he went to Washington to visit his distant cousin, Theodore, who was then President of the United States, and said, "I have one wish for you, little man, that you will never be President of the United States." Franklin Delano Roosevelt was 39 in the summer of 1921 when he came back from swimming in the ocean, took a nap, woke up with no feeling in his legs, and realized he'd come down with infantile paralysis, polio. He formed the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis, which put on the March of Dimes every year to raise money, and a young researcher named Jonas Salk benefited from all of that and eventually developed the polio vaccine. It's the birthday of the poet and novelist Richard Brautigan, born in Tacoma, Washington, 1935, author of Trout Fishing in America, which he wrote on a portable typewriter while he was sitting alongside the many trout streams that he fished in. It's the birthday of the novelist and short story writer Shirley Hazzard, born in Sydney, Australia, 1931, best known for her novel The Transit of Venus, which won the National Book Critics Circle Award in 1980. And it was on this day, 1972, that British Army parachutists shot 27 unarmed civil rights demonstrators in Derry in Northern Ireland, an event that was known as Bloody Sunday. The group had been marching to oppose the British policy of internment, whereby people had been imprisoned without a court hearing. The troubles in Northern Ireland stemming back to the Treaty of 1923, which partitioned Ireland, the Catholic South as an independent nation, and 6 counties of Northern Ireland with a Protestant majority still part of the United Kingdom. The march on this day in 1972, the parachute troops given the okay to fire, the first person killed shot in the back while running away. 13 persons died that day. Half of them were teenagers. All of them were unarmed. Here's a poem for today by Greg Hewitt, When I Lost My Hands. When I lost my hands, I started wearing gloves, the kind pallbearers wear, thin and yellowed. When I lost my hands, I started to stare at my father, lifting his wine glass like a dancer would a rose, at my aunt, shuffling cards, brittle veins almost breaking against the aquamarine on her knuckle. At my grandfather, holding his guitar, not so much like a lover as like a god who has touched the earth. When I lost my hands, I started to see how doves fold their wings over their backs like hands in prayer. When I lost my hands, I could no longer pray. When I lost my hands, I could no longer speak. A poem by Greg Hewitt, When I Lost My Hands, from Reb Suburb, published by Coffee House Press, used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac, funded by donations from listeners like you. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.